No, I already said this. I think he's going to Georgia. Again, I think there's a chance still. I don't think this is 100% zero, but there's like a 75% chance now that he goes to Georgia. Where if we win this game or if like earlier in the game we score that touchdown, go up 24-3 and we blow them out like we probably should have, I think there's a really good chance he comes here, but no. It's like 80-20, 75-25 that he goes to Georgia. I mean, Georgia was already the favorites coming into this game, and then after that, nah. And also, I think people need to stop getting obsessed with Arch Manning for the simple fact, if Arch Manning ends up being like one of the 15 best college quarterbacks ever, but he played behind a terrible offensive line, I think you can compete for a national championship. I don't think you're winning a national championship. Yeah, they got to fix the offensive line. It's fine. I'm not. It's hard to explain to dumb people what you're trying to get your point. My point is, yes, the score, they were better than us. If you watch the game, our self-inflicted mistakes cost us the game. That's what I'm saying. Do I need to spell it out to you? It's not hard to understand. Arkansas was a better team. They whooped our ass. Oklahoma was a better team in the second half. They whooped our ass. Those are better teams. They beat us. We beat ourselves in this game. I still think we're a better team than Oklahoma State. That's why this hurts so much. That's the last time I'm going to speak on that. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Yeah, I think LSU beating Florida probably saved Ed O's job for at least one more week. I think it's also dumb if they go like 7-5 or 8-4 that you're firing him, but you do you, especially since I don't think, other than Urban Meyer, there's no coach out there that guarantees you like being really good again. There's just not. You're gonna hire Billy Napier at Louisiana. That doesn't guarantee anything. I don't think James Franklin's a Southeastern. Well, he did go to Vanderbilt, but that's not deep Southeastern Conference. I mean, and I think Penn State in the Big Ten, LSU in the SEC, I would take the Penn State job over that, if just because of Big Ten and SEC. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't think Ed O's a great coach, but it just wouldn't happen. Pick six change. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, 17-3, you're driving. You throw you throw a touchdown there. Not even throw a touchdown. Just run the ball, kick a field goal. You're up 23. They're not coming back. Like, you got to, as a football fan, you can't just look at final scores. You have to look at the ebb and flow of games. Just like in that Oklahoma game last week, if anyone had the same feeling I had, we weren't going to win that game until we got up by 28, and we never got up by 28, and they kept creeping back in. And I was like, okay, when it was like 38-27, I was like, they're going to come back and win this game. And it ended up happening in this game when they went down and scored a call and was 24-22. I said to myself, if we don't go down and score a touchdown here, this game is over. They're going to beat us. And they beat us. You just can't, like, they're not a great team, but they're a good enough team to capitalize off those mistakes. Like, that's the type of game, if you played versus like Kansas or even I think Kansas State, you'd still win the game, but it'd be ugly. Like, versus a good, solid football team, which Oklahoma State is. They're not great, but they're a good, solid football team. You have to go out there and take it from them, and we never did that. We had a chance to multiple times, and we never did it. OSU, I mean, yeah, I don't think Ohio State fans will like you calling them OSU, and I definitely don't think Oklahoma fans like you calling them Oklahoma. Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to that guy anymore. I hope he breaks his keyboard typing. Well, his play calls are designed like. See, I would agree with you if his play calls were like this every week, but they're not. Like, go watch that Oklahoma game. That Oklahoma game. That's what's so frustrating. Like, and the Louisiana game. Like, he would do stuff and be like, "Wow, that's a freaking really good play design. Get your players open in space, and a lot of motion, a lot of like magic. Basically, is how I like to describe it. Because it's like, oh, over here, nope, over here, where the real play call happens, and he doesn't do that every week, and he should do that every week. Like I said, I think he just expects we're more talented. We can roll our helmets out there and win. You can't do that. Like, you're not. And especially if you're not going to get your guys fired up. Oh, yeah. I mean, firing a guy. I mean, again, Nick Saban went 7-5 and lost to Louisiana Monroe, guys. Louisiana Monroe. So I'm not going to, like, again, if this is happening, the problem with Tom Herman is he was having these type of games in his third year and his last year, his 4th year at Texas. Like, these are the type of games that can consistently happen. First year, I'm going to give you a break. You should have won this game, in my opinion. Again, I think we're the better team, but I'm fine with it. It's the first year. Next year, if he does it again, I'm going to have some worries. Third year, if he does it, he's not our guy. Like, that will tell you right away. Nope, not the guy. Get him out. Being a Longhorn fan right now, I started being a Longhorn fan since 2010. I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't wait for basketball season. Like, I cannot wait for basketball season and college basketball. I'm not a big NBA fan, but college basketball is gonna be fun. Cameron Arnold, congratulations, your team won. I think you got a good chance of playing in the Big 12 championship game. If you beat, they haven't played Iowa State yet, I don't think. If you beat Iowa State, you'll probably be in the Big 12 championship game. I just think Jeremiah, thanks for joining us again. I think he needs more weapons. Shutting down Worthy by himself just no, 100%. Worthy really didn't. Again, I'd like to go watch. Like, I wish the all 22 film was available to fans. It's basically impossible to find unless you know someone. Because I'd like to see if they were bracketing him, double covering him, what they were doing. If this was more like I said, a really good freshman type game by him, which I mean, and when I say that, I mean like he just wasn't engaged. Like last week, clearly rivalry game, super engaged, and he was kind of the same thing before the TCU game, the week before the Oklahoma game, where he just didn't seem engaged and he dropped a lot of passes. Could be that. I thought Joshua Moore definitely wasn't engaged. He dropped a lot of passes. That's how you kind of tell with wide receivers when they're just not, their mind isn't right. They drop passes because that's your job is literally to do that. That's the one thing you have to be able to do consistently. Hey, yeah, that's the funny thing is like every other sport at Texas is really good other than the football team. Basketball is going to be good. Women's basketball is going to be good. Baseball's good. Tennis is good. Their soccer team is playing really well right now. The women's soccer team. So I mean, everything is really good other than the freaking football team. John Doe. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but they do look good, and I like Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, so I don't hate them. I used to despise them when they had Tony Romo. Um, I'm a Broncos fan, and we look terrible. Talk about coaching staff. Vic Fangio needs to be dragged out of town. He's terrible. But the Cowboys do look good, and they might be the best team in the NFC. We'll have to see. Claude Cook, you got a good outlook. I'm from Oklahoma, but I love the state of Texas. Yeah, I'm not actually from Texas. I'm from Ohio, but been to Texas a couple times. I really like, by the way, underrated state, Oklahoma, especially Oklahoma City. I really like Oklahoma City. I think it's a really nice city. Basketball season, I think, starts like first week in November. Oh, and I'm thinking about it, guys. Texas versus Gonzaga, first, like second I think it's the week before Thanksgiving. I'm really thinking about flying out to Spokane and watching that game. I think that's going to be a Final Four type game in a regular season. I think it's going to be freaking amazing. There's going to be so many NBA players on that court. No, 100%. That's what I said. Like early on in this pregame show, is this was a synopsis of Texas the last like decade, basically. Like not ready to play, bad play calling for the most part on offense, bad play calling on defense, and just boneheaded, stupid mistakes. And when you had the chance to put a team away, you didn't and allowed them to come back in the game. And that's basically Texas football the last decade.